How's it going, ladies and gentlemen? What's the word? What's the word? Zulu here, and today we have another JJK Phantom Parade discussion video. We're going to be taking a look at the bi-weekly update that just dropped today, as well as the new Gojo. I want to check out its kit before I actually summon for the unit whenever it drops on global. Today we have some confirmed dates for new units, as well as some raids that we're going to be getting into. And yup, if you're excited, drop a like, sub, do all that good shit. But with all that being said, let's just get right into the topic at hand. Let's go. Alright guys, so let's get right into it. So the first part of the bi-weekly update, we have some confirmed dates for some great units, both red units, for on January the 4th. That should be on Sunday if I'm not mistaken. That's a weird day to drop a new banner, but on Sunday, this coming Sunday, we're gonna be getting the new anniversary Mahito. It's bittersweet for me because I wasted all my cubes on Sukuna, so I basically have nothing left in the tank to summon for Mahito. But we should get 2 free multis just like we got for Itadori and Todo, so I'll try my luck and see if I get Mahito with those 2 ticket summons. But I highly doubt, well, I can't even say I highly doubt, because I got both Itadori and Todo off the 2 ticket summons, so I won't lose faith, but there is a good chance I don't get Mahito. But still excited for the new unit. Mahito is an amazing debuffer, but I've been saying how broken the unit is. Me personally, I prefer just from a personal standpoint, not like from anything stat wise or who deals the most damage, just from my own personal liking of the characters. I prefer the 3 anniversary units we got before, Yuji, Todo, and Sukuna. But this Mahito seems to be the best. Like, objectively speaking, this Mahito seems to be the best out of the 3 of them. So I hope you guys have saved up your cubes, because just after Sukuna, we just got the Sukuna banner, we're getting Mahito on the 4th of January, this coming Sunday. We're also getting Rabbit Escape Megumi. No, Rabbit Escape Megumi is a unit that came out on the JP side of thing a while ago, but as we all know, the devs love to skip units on global. We still don't have Red Jogo, still don't have Kusakabe. I think we don't have a good bit of units that were obviously released on the JP side of things, and they skipped it in order to get, like I said, they always skip stuff to get to the better unit, the more anticipated units on global. So Rabbit Escape Megumi is coming. I'm not really too familiar with the unit myself, because I wasn't really paying attention to it when it first dropped. So along with the Gojo kit, I want to take a look at Rabbit Escape Megumi's kit as well. So yeah, the 4th of January Mahito drops, and 16th of January Rabbit Escape Megumi drops. So really looking forward to those. Like I said, both of them are already units. Next slide. So at the same time when Mahito releases this coming Sunday, we have Mahoraga raid. So I'm not really sure. It's United Exorcism. I'm not really sure what that entails. With apologies about that, guys. My dog was making a bit of ruckus in the background, but she's calmed down now, so we can continue. So yeah, we're getting a United Exorcism raid boss. Now, in terms of United Exorcism, I am not really sure what it entails. I'm not really sure if we've gotten this type of event before. If we have, I basically just glanced over it and probably just did the event for the cubes and such. But yeah, the event itself I'm not really too sure about. But Mahoraga as a raid boss, we already have. He's been featured in the EX stage, in the Vicarious Experience story mode of the game, and he's also was a limited time boss last month for the illusory tower. He's extremely hard to kill. Like 3 of his 4 moves are like AoE. So your team is not safe. And I think one of the AoEs, he can debuff you, make you take more damage, and the other one can stun you, and then his ultimate also hits everybody. So he's insane as a boss to fight. So you gotta have some really strong units, have a really strong strategy in order to be able to beat him. So there's that. But yeah, I'm not really too sure what United Exorcism entails. Next slide. It gives the date for Mahito again. Saying that we'll get some tickets. That's expected. We should get 10 tickets from using a code and 10 tickets from doing events in game. So we get 2 multis to use on Mahito, and that's gonna be the only 2 multis I get. And we're getting Toji, Seance Toji, as a Imaginary Realm boss, which is pretty cool. I love Imaginary Realm. Nice, easy way to get cubes. Not so difficult anymore. I remember when it had just started, I couldn't get past like B rank, but now I'm able to put a decent chunk in the Imaginary Realm boss's chunk of health. So yeah, that's about it for the bi-weekly update. So now I want to get into the 2 units that were mentioned. Not 2, because it'll be 3. I want to get into the units that were mentioned. I want to get into all 3 of the kits, that being the one that wasn't featured here but released a while ago, that being the new 0.2 Gojo. I want to take a look at Rabbit Escape Megumi as well as Mahito. So I'll be right back with those. Hold 1 second. Alright guys, so the first unit we're going to be going over is the new Blue Gojo. So it's a limited time banner, that's to be expected. New Gojo. There are 2 Gojos on the standard banner right now, but I didn't expect this one to be going to the standard banner, since it's gonna be able to use its domain expansion, I think, if I saw correctly. So it released on JP on the 26th of December last year. I almost said this year. Happy New Year, by the way. It's a taijutsu use. Oh, so it's not gonna be focusing on jujutsu. That's cool. He can perform black flashes. That's awesome. I can't wait to get in the zone and spam black flashes with Gojo. That's gonna be sick. So first skill, Convergence and Strike, deals 500% melee taijutsu damage to the selected enemy. Hit you 4 times. Wow, that's crazy. Increases the selected enemy's break damage received by 150%. That's absolutely insane for fighting like formidable foes and such. I've been seeing, just to peel back the curtain a little bit, I've seen people use this unit, and I've been hearing that this unit is going to be outdated in like 3 weeks. Just off the first skill alone, this looks pretty cool. So I guess we'll learn more as we read. There's an additional 300% melee taijutsu damage to the selected enemy. That's insane. So in total you're getting like 800% off a skill 1 and 150% break damage. That's absolutely insane. I know I said that a lot, but just by reading this, wow. Critical hit rate 50%, so you have a 50% chance to get a crit on 4 hits. That's crazy. And 100% on the last, so it's guaranteed crit on the last hit. Wow. Critical hit 50%, critical damage 50%, black flash rate is 20, and black flash damage is 150%. Golly, holy shit, bro. 150% off of black flash. That's crazy. So we continue on. Massacre, 550% melee taijutsu damage to all enemies, so it's an AoE. Decreases all enemy critical hit resistance by 30%, so you hit crits easier, which you would probably use this and then use your skill 1, because that would be an insane combo. And increases own taijutsu stat by 30% for 5 turns, so he can self buff as well. This unit is broken. What? They had to nerf him some way, but by making him only stiff for the 10 turns, because what? Critical rate 10% on the first hit, 40% on the second hit. Critical damage increases by 50%. Can't hit a black flash off it, so there's that. And the third skill, skill 3, 550% range jujutsu damage to all enemies. So this is his one skill that focuses on jujutsu. Increases all enemies break damage received by almost 50%. Wow, 45%. This guy is gonna be crazy when fighting formidable foes and stuff. If I could get him, maybe I could finally beat Mahito in that one EX stage. That's funny. You can't stack the break damage, the debuff. You can't stack it, so use it once and then you wait 5 turns, and then that's that. You have a 10% crit rate and 50% critical damage increase, so that's cool. So he can use his domain, which is his ultimate. Expands the domain, sure hit effect for 1 turn. Everybody gets stunned for 2 turns. Inflicts all enemies with infinite void status. That would be giving the enemies the debuffs that the red Gojo gives them, which is cool. Prevents all enemies from increasing their ultimate skill count, which is good for 3 turns. Increases all enemies damage received by 150%. Jeez. Applies the following effect to self. Cancels out the infinite void and attack immunity. So you would lose your no damage received to self is what I call it. One domain expansion ends, deal 1700% military due to damage to all enemies. Also, not only does he open a domain, but he also hits, unlike the red Gojo. Leaves the battlefield at the end of turn. Okay, so once you use the ultimate, he leaves the turn. Okay, he leaves the turn, he leaves the field. I should say. Critical hit 50%, critical damage 50% as well. So combo ultimate effect, deals 256 melee taijutsu damage to all enemies, recovers own and combo allies curse energy by 20, fills all allies got ultimate gauge by 110, excluding self and combo ally. So the other 2 party members would get their gauge filled. That's cool. Okay. And there's also a hidden potential stage 2. Okay. Deals 384% melee taijutsu damage to all enemies, recovers owner and the combos allies curse energy by 20, fills out the combo allies ultimate gauge by 220. Wow. Fills all allies ultimate gauge by 110, excluding self and combo ally. So how would you activate this hidden potential stage 2? Strange, doesn't say. But anyways, let's go onto his auto skills. Break enhancement at start of battle, increases own damage dealt by 50%. That is absolutely insane. So you just have to walk into the battle and your damage dealt goes up by 50%, by half. What? So of course he has to zone, because most people who can hit black flashes have that, Itadori, Todo, etc. So when black flash is performed, increases own taijutsu and jujutsu stat by 25% for 4 turns. And he also recovers HP when he hits a black flash. Wow, that's cool. That's the first time I've ever seen it. Desperate decision. At the start of battle, grants desperate decision state to self for 10 turns. At the start of the turn, increases own taijutsu and jujutsu stat by 20%. Each turn pass increases the effect by 10%. So every turn that passes, he gets a buff in stats, and it can go up to 80%. So after 8 turns, he'd be Jesus essentially. What is this? What is this cracked unit? And people were, I swear I saw people were saying that this unit is gonna be outdated in like 2 weeks or so. How? This guy does insane damage. Once desperate decision state has ended, fills own ultimate gauge to max. Ultimate gauge cannot be reduced until ultimate has been performed. Command skill are disabled. Why would you do that if when he uses his ultimate he has to leave? That doesn't make any sense, but okay. Yourself is unable to use domain, and when I said it doesn't make any sense, it's like ultimate gauge cannot be reduced until ultimate has been performed. It's like that he leaves, so like why even include anything like after his ultimate has been performed? If you catch where I'm coming from, why even put that there? But anyway, if self is unable to use domain expansion and desperate decision state ended, grants strategic retreat status and leave the battlefield after 1 turn. When self is leaving the battlefield, increases our remaining allies taijutsu and jujutsu by 60%. So let me read that again. If self is unable to use domain expansion, so if you don't or can't use domain expansion and desperate decision has ended, so the 10 turns has expired and he has to leave, that is when he'll buff the remaining members. Okay, so if you get something out of it if you don't use your ultimate. Okay, that's cool. That's cool. Limitless technique. I think I know what this does. It basically means you can't get hit. So that looks like Gojo's full kit. This unit looks insane, bro. Well, a lot of units, even the more recent units, have looked pretty gnarly, if I'm being honest. But this Gojo, he can buff itself. He just has to come into the battlefield in order to get 50% buff. This is insane, but okay. Let's go on to the second unit, which is Rabbit Escape Megumi. So here is his artwork. It looks cool. I like it. He's a red unit, and he's gonna be added to the standard banner. Okay, so there's no real need for me to actually try to get him on the banner since he's gonna be coming to the standard banner. But they take like forever to do the updates for the standard banner, so I might as well try my luck. But if I have to spend cubes, then I might as well just skip it, because I'm trying to get the more busted unit. Not to say that this unit isn't good, I just don't really know much about it. Maybe after reading I'll have a change of heart, but I doubt it because it's Mahito next, so I think I want Mahito more than anything. So skill 1, Exorcist Slash. Deals 50% melee taijutsu damage to the selected enemy. Oh, we didn't read his focus. Hold on. What's his focus? His focus is they don't have his focus here. Oh, he's a debuffer combined, so he's taijutsu and jujutsu. Okay, so the first one is melee taijutsu to select the enemy. Rabbit escape stages applied. Ignore enemy's melee attack counter. If Divine Dark totality state is applied, there's an additional 100% rage jutsu damage to the same enemy. This attack will ignore darkness. So if you have darkness state on this Megumi, the Divine Dog would still always hit. So there's nothing to worry about there. When both Rabbit Escape and Divine Dog totality state are applied, change the skill into Shikigami combo. Crit rate of 40, critical damage 50%. He can't deal Black Flash, so that makes sense. This skill changes. I wonder how you get it to change. Do you use the ultimate or something? But apparently this skill can change. Deal 50% melee taijutsu damage and 100% ranged jujutsu damage to the selected enemy. Taijutsu damage will ignore counter, and jujutsu damage will ignore darkness. That's a lot to keep in mind. So you can't counter this skill after it changes, and like the previous skill said, the jujutsu damage will ignore darkness. I guess there's no way to say it other than to repeat what I just said. Okay, that's pretty good. But how many units can inflict darkness on you, really and truly? So I guess it's a good thing to have, because there's always that one B unit that poisons you and always gives you darkness either way. So it's a good thing to have, I guess. Same crit rate, same crit damage. So we go on to his skill 2. Deals 150 melee taijutsu damage to the selected enemy. Rabbit escape state is applied. Ignore enemy's melee attack counter. If the Divide Dark totality state is applied, is an additional 100 range jujutsu damage to the same enemy. This attack will ignore darkness. Okay, so Megumi is immune to the dark, I guess, which makes sense. Just character wise, I guess. Increases the selected enemy taijutsu and jujutsu damage received by 25%. Okay, so there's the debuff. That's the first debuff skill. When both Rabbit Escape and Divine Dogs statuses are applied, change the skill into Shikigami combo. 40% crit rate, 50% crit damage. Still don't know how you change your skill, but okay. Deals 150 melee taijutsu damage and 100% range jujutsu damage to the selected enemy. Blah blah blah. Same thing we've been reading the entire time. Ignore counters and darkness. Increases the selected enemy taijutsu and jujutsu damage received by 50%. Okay. Nice debuffs, to be honest. Okay. That's pretty cool. Rabbit Escape. Okay. Someone's Rabbit Escape. HP 40% of the character's maximum HP. 50% of the damage will go to Rabbit Escape. What does that mean? So when you do it, so the Rabbit Escape is like, what you may call it? Is it like a shield for yourself? That, okay, so The max HP of the Rabbit Escape, which seems like a shield, I'm not sure, I've never seen a unit before, is 40% of your maximum HP. So, okay. 50% of the damage will go to Rabbit Escape, disappears when HP reaches 0. Applies attack modification to self for 2 turns, removed. If Rabbit Escape is disappeared during effect applied. Applies disruption special to all enemies for 2 turns or 3 turns, and the chance for that is 45%. Increases enemies taijutsu and jujutsu damage received by 30%. This guy is a good debuffer. So his ultimate is called Continuous Shikigami Summon. Increases the selected enemy's jujutsu damage received by 50%. Effective for red types attacks. Removes both Rabbit Escape and Divide Dark Totality State. Deals 1000 ranged jujutsu damage to selected enemy. This attack will ignore darkness. Of course, Megumi is not afraid of the dark, he'll have you know. Increases the selected enemy's taijutsu and jujutsu damage received by 100%. 40% crit, 50% crit damage. That's cool. So this is the combo ultimate. 192% rage jujutsu damage to the selected enemy. Increases own and combo allies damage up by 30%. Fills all allies ultimate gauge by 110, excluding self and combo ally. And then stage 2 deals 320% rage jujutsu damage to the selected enemy. Increases own and combos allies damage up by 40. Increases own and combo allies jujutsu by 30. Fills all allies ultimate gauge by 110, excluding the both parties that perform the combo. And he has one auto skill, which is totality. If own curse energy is 30 or more and Divide Dark Totality is not applied at the start of a turn, summon Divine Dark Totality. Disappear if Divine Dark Totality is receiving damage equal to character's 15% HP. Wow, that's a soft ass dog. 15%. That's crazy. That seems to be Megumi, Rabbit Escape Megumi. Seems like a good debuffer. I would definitely use it, but it's not something that I have on my priority list. Sorry. It looks pretty cool, honestly. But so can't wait till that comes to the standard banner and I can just summon for him. What I'm really waiting for is Yellow Shoko to be on the standard banner. That's gonna be a good time. So last unit is Mahito. Start the show. Real big dog. Look at the art. The art looks sick. So he's a limited time banner. Obviously a unit like this is not gonna be added to the standard banner at all. He's a mixed and he's a debuffer. Okay. So he is not focused on taijutsu or jujutsu. I thought he would be jujutsu. Then again, he does hit black flashes in the anime, so that makes sense. Characteristic: receive damage when targeted by reverse curse technique. Able to attack souls, weak to soul damage. Okay. He does perform black flash. Yes, we knew this already. So his skill 1 deals range mixed damage of 60 taijutsu and 60% jujutsu to the selected enemy. Decreases the selected enemy's crit rate by crit resistance by 25%. Crit 40%, crit damage 50%. Once you change it, I assume it changes after you use the ultimate, because I think after you use the ultimate, he transforms. Yeah. In instant spirit body of the solid killing state change into soul shattering. Deals range mixed damage of 100 taijutsu and 150 jujutsu to the selected enemy. Increases the selected enemy's red damage received by 15%. Okay, so there's the debuffs. Decreases the selected enemy crit resistance by 25%. Excuse me, sorry. 40% crit rate, 50% crit damage. Body repel. I've seen this a lot because Mahito was recently added as an EX stage, and this skill is annoying because it almost always disrupts. It's just, I hate it. I hate being on the receiving end of it. Views range mixed damage of 80 taijutsu and 120 jujutsu to all enemies. Increases all enemies red damage received by 50%. Okay, so when we're going up against the Mahito, he can disrupt us, but we can't disrupt other enemies. That's cheap. That's cheap Phantom Parade. That's cheap shit. Change skill 2. In instant spirit body of the started killing state, soul piercing. Deals ranged mixed damage of 74.7 taijutsu and 124.5 jujutsu to all enemies. Increases all enemies red damage received by 34%. 27%. So he really gets into the debuffing after he transforms, it looks like. So instant kill the selected enemy based on HP and Jujutsu stat. You know, they always say that Mahito has like instant killing, which is his whole thing, but I've never insta killed anybody with idle transfiguration. Like, I've never gotten the withdraw from battle thing. I just realized I didn't have it to level 10. So 150 taijutsu and 250 jujutsu instead, and the red damage received is 50%. Okay, crit rate 40% and crit damage is still 50%. So skill 3 is really interesting because it changes 3 times, right? So increases its idle transfiguration, increases own break damage by 200%, melee jujutsu damage to the selected enemy 250%. It debuffs them by making them receive more from red damage. That's 50% also. Brings down their break damage by 30 and decreases the crit resistance by 30. Jesus Christ, that skill 3 is broken. How much does it take? 20? It only takes 20 crest energy to do all of that. That's actually pretty broken, not gonna lie. Phantom Parade. Okay, so 40% crit rate, 50% crit damage. So it changes to Black Flash after something is done, because it doesn't change to Black Flash after you transform. Sorry. If one ultimate gauge is above 1168, change into black. Okay, so you'll have to build your ultimate gauge. The skill will not be changed if 2 Black Flashes were performed or during after you transform, basically. Increases on break damage by 200%. Use melee taijutsu damage to the selected enemy with Black Flash by 700% counter immunity. So you cannot counter this. Wow, 700%, that's insane. Increases the selected enemies red damage received by 50%. Increases the selected enemies crit resist by 45%, crit rate 40%, crit damage is 50%, guys. And this is the skill it changes to when he transforms, when he uses his ultimate. Increases on break damage by 200%, deals melee mix of 80% taijutsu and 120 jujutsu to the selected enemy, deals an additional melee mix damage of 100% taijutsu and 150 jujutsu to the selected enemy, increases the selected enemy's red damage by 50, decreases crit resist by 45, increases all taijutsu and jujutsu by 30%. Jesus, all these debuffs and buffs for himself. He really is a crazy unit. Maybe I should have saved my cubes for him, but I really wanted Sukuna, so I have no regrets. But hopefully I get him with E2 ticket summons. Instant kill selected enemy based on HP and Jujutsu stat. Fills ultimate gauge more than other skills. 40% crit rate, 50% crit damage. So this is his ultimate, which transforms him. This skill cannot be used until Mahito have used the Black Flash in battle. So you have to change your skill 3 into Black Flash before you can use your ultimate, which transforms him. Grant instant spirit body of distorted killing state. Deals melee mix damage of 360 taijutsu and 480 jujutsu to the selected enemy. Hits 4 times. Deals an additional melee mix damage of 250% taijutsu and 360 jujutsu to the selected enemy. All hits counter immune, so you cannot counter this either. Increases the selected enemy's red damage by 60%. It seems like every skill he has does that, where he increases the damage red typing does to your opponent, which is cool. Which he would work great on like full color team, so like a full red team. You pair him with like DE Gojo, and then you put like a really good DPS on the team, like the new Itadori that just dropped Toji, and you would get some insane damage off this guy. Instant spirit body of distorted killing, increase own jujutsu and taijutsu stat by 50, decreases own damage received by 30%, and grants damage to cut to self effect minus 1000. Minus 1000 damage cut to. Okay, so he basically buffs his defenses. Okay, I was wondering what that means, but after reading it a couple of times, decreases on damage received by 30%, and this has a 10% chance to pop, so it doesn't happen all the time. crit rate 40, crit damage 50%. And then you have the combo ultimate, 80% taijutsu and 120 jujutsu to the selected enemy, increases own and combo allies damage up by 10%, full all allies ultimate gauge by 110, excluding both parties that are participating in the combo ult. And then hidden potential stage 2. I'm wondering, how do you get to these stage 2s, honestly, because I don't think I've ever seen it happen in game. But either way, deals melee mixed damage equal to 153.6 taijutsu and 230.4% jujutsu to stat to the selected enemy, increases on combo allies damage up by 30, covers own and the combo allies curse energy by 15, fill all allies ultimate gauge by 110, excluding the two that use the combo ultimate. Auto skills: if own curse energy is more than 30 and not in the transform state, covers own HP by 10%. Is that something that happens all the time? So if you have more than 30 curse energy, which is happen more often than not, and not in the transform state, you recover 10% of your own HP. That's busted if it just pops all the time, because at the end of every turn you recover 10% of your HP. That's crazy. Receive damage when targeted by the reverse curse technique. Okay, so he can get in the zone. Black Flash. When Black Flash perform, grants zone status cannot be stacked, increases own ultimate charging rate by 15%, covers own HP by 10, covers own curse energy by 10, zone status increases own taijutsu and jujutsu stat by 20%. On second activation of zone status, fill own ultimate gauge by 4. Wow, so he can get his ultimate back after hitting a second Black Flash. Not the full ultimate gauge, but like a good chunk, at least more, almost half, I should say. Taijutsu and jujutsu stat buff from the zone status increases there, so when you hit a Black Flash, you buff yourself as well. This unit is absolutely cracked, bro. Like, what all these debuffs are insane. Even one that's not duped would give you amazing results. Jeez, I'm kind of sad that I only have 2 chances to summon him, but them's the breaks. I wanted Sukuna because he's one of my favorite characters. Them's the breaks. Not really too upset, but I'm still upset, bittersweet about it. So that will be the video. I went over all the units, covered all the bi-weekly updates. If you are excited for these units, make sure to drop a like, as I really appreciate it. Thank you so much for watching. If you made it all the way to the end, it really does mean the world to me. But for now, I'm gonna get up out of here. Thanks so much for watching again. Goodbye and good night. Bang. Deuces.